Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode on the channel. So the show that I've been promising for a while is now here, and we are doing the live stream show talking about how to live stream from the RED Komodo. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about some of the gear that was needed in order to make this happen. I'm not really going to touch on lighting because that's really broad. You don't just need to know lighting for streaming. But if you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the comments, whether you're watching live or after this video is done, and I'll get to them. But in today's video, we are going to touch on the equipment you need to stream with the RED Komodo. We're also going to talk about the software that I use to stream from the RED Komodo. And then a disclaimer, everything we're talking about today is to stream from the RED Komodo in 1080p. I don't need to go above 1080p for most of my streams, especially the ones I do with Jazz Is, where we're interviewing people, talking about their latest albums, occasionally doing performances, but we never really go above 1080p, and you can now go to 1080p on the platform we're using. So without further ado, let's talk about what you need. So the links to everything I'm going to talk about are in the notes, and the first thing we're going to talk about is you need some kind of capture card for your computer. Now, if you have a higher end Mac sometimes, or PC, sometimes you can go get a capture card that you could slot into the tower itself. But if you're using a laptop like I use, and you're going to want to do this portably, what you're going to want is some kind of capture card. The easiest things to get as far as USB type capture cards are HDMI capture cards, which you may think, I'm using a RED Komodo, it has SDI. How am I going to use the HDMI? Well, thanks to Scott Balcom, I didn't realize the prices of SDI to HDMI converters have come way down in the past 6 months. So in the description below, there is one converter that's around $30. The links are affiliated, just to let you guys know. So if you click on them and you buy them, you support the channel. But it's like a $30 SDI capture card, and it works really well. I'm using it right now, and I have the capture card. I have the SDI going into the converter, then it going into an Elgato cam link. Now, you don't have to get an Elgato cam link. The beauty of it is if your output is 4K and you have a converter that will accept a 4K signal, then you can output a 4K signal over a stream. However, I am doing 1080p. So you need the SDI converter, relatively easy. Most of them are going to be 1080p. And you need the capture card. So it's relatively simple. Now, there's a few other things when you're doing the live stream. And let me move this. Boom. Lock in that focus. Just waiting for the continuous autofocus to come out for the Sigma 18-35, which we're using on today's broadcast. So when you're live streaming from the Komodo, there's a few things you want to do. Obviously, you've probably noticed I'm colored in. And so what I did was I baked in a LUT, and I also baked in HLG. So the camera outputs via the SDI, HLG with a Rec 709 LUT. So as you see, I'm nice, I'm colored in, pretty decent for live streaming. Is it exactly how I would color grade it if I was recording? Probably not. I would do a little bit of tweaks here and there. But for the live stream, it's great, which is awesome to know that you can live stream from this camera and it not be a log signal. So there's that. Now let's talk about the lens I'm using is Sigma 18-35, but you can use any lens. Again, you can also live stream from the Wi-Fi device without having to use an SDI converter and an HDMI capture card. We're not going to touch on that in this episode on the channel, just because I haven't really been too versed in the Wi-Fi transmission, and you also do need other programs to do that. So we're going to keep with being hardwired, especially because I just like the comfort of knowing that I'm hardwired into the camera. So let's talk about streaming platforms. So once you have the SDI and you have the HDMI converter, you need some kind of streaming platform. The classic one was OBS, Open Source Broadcaster, and it works pretty decent. But in order to do most of what you would want to do out of it, you do need a somewhat powerful computer in order to do video graphics, complex overlays, something like that. What I use, and I use this because we interview other people, I use a program called StreamYards, which the link is available down below. And what StreamYards lets you do is you can do As of last week, you can do up to 1080p signals if you have the Pro plan, and you could bring on up to 10 people for your live stream. Don't know why you'd want to interview 10 people at once, but you can have up to 10 people. We typically go one-on-one, or maybe sometimes 3 or 4 people max for our streams, but it's a very simple web-based platform that you can embed video clips. You could share your screen. It's really meant for interview-based live streams or basic live streams like I'm doing right now. The other cool thing is you can go to with the I'm only going to talk about the, I guess, basic plan and pro plan, because there's a free plan, but you can't do much with it. So the basic plan, you can only stream up to 720, which we're doing now, and you could stream up to 3 different places. And then the pro plan, you can stream up to 1080p, and you can stream up to 8 places. Now, the cool part about StreamYards is it'll accept using a camera with a capture card like I'm doing right now, but it'll also accept somebody if they're going to come on with an iPhone or an iPad. So it's very versatile. It lets you do a lot of really cool things, and it lets you get into streaming very easy. I'm using a very, very basic and old Dell XPS computer to do this live stream right now. Is it a little bit more of a pain to use? Yeah. When I used my MacBook, it's a little bit quicker. But again, most of it's web-based, so you could even technically switch the streams on a phone. And I know this whole episode today isn't about StreamYards. I just want to let you guys know about it, because it is an easy way to stream, especially from the RED Komodo. So those are really the basics of what you need to stream with the RED Komodo. The other thing I'll add is audio. So you do need to pipe in audio to the RED Komodo. You're not going to want to use a scratch microphone. And as you can probably tell, I'll lift it up here. I'm using a Shure 55 Deluxe, Shure Super 55 Deluxe. And I like it because I'm in a room that has a lot of echo. And by using this microphone, it's really clear. I also don't have to lav myself. I don't have to have a shotgun mic. I just find the audio pretty crisp. And then I have this piped in to a Zoom H4n recorder, which then the audio then goes out directly into the Komodo. I have the gain inside the Zoom H4n pretty high. That way I don't have any gain applied in the Komodo. If you saw my other video that I did on the channel, I did a little bit of experimenting with different audio devices. And basically the Komodo preamps will work really well as long as you don't go above 0. You can do a little bit of gain in post, or sorry, a little bit of a gain in the camera, but typically with RED cameras, you do not want to add gain. So if you come from a device like the Zoom H4n, you should have pretty clean audio. It's synced. The only thing I would say is make sure that you are piping the audio directly into the Komodo, as when you're live streaming and you're using this method that I'm letting you know about, there is a delay as far as from what goes from the camera to the computer. So you want to make sure that your audio is directly into the camera itself. Otherwise, you're going to have to sort out the delay from the microphone to the camera in the computer. Typically, the microphone will be, I guess you can say live, where the video feed will be slightly delayed, not by a lot, but maybe like 3 frames. And it's not just the delay coming out of the SDI port, but it's also the delay of going through the converter and going through the HDMI dongle. So it adds some frames. So just be aware. That's why I do like piping in directly to the camera. That way I don't have to worry about adding a delay in the audio, and everything seems to work out pretty fine. And those are really the nuts and bolts of live streaming from the Komodo. Like we covered in this video, you need an SDI converter and an HDMI capture card. You can get a straight SDI capture card. However, the 2 that are really available are both from Blackmagic. One of them, to connect to a computer, you need to use Thunderbolt 2, which is why I didn't really mention it, because no new computers are really using Thunderbolt 2. It's pretty much old Macs, old MacBook Pros. So you can use that if you have an older MacBook Pro, or you happen to have a computer like this that's a Windows that has Thunderbolt 2. The newer device they've come out with is actually Thunderbolt 3, which is very similar to USB-C, and that will work pretty well, but they're not really available yet, and they're not too expensive. They're around $115, but again, they're not available yet. So if you need to stream now, this is the easiest way to stream now, and it's really inexpensive. So again, I highly recommend it. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to put them in the comments below. And if you got value out of this video, please hit the like, subscribe, and that notification bell. And that's going to be it for this video. I wanted to keep it nice, simple, talk about live streaming from the RED Komodo. If you guys have seen my video live streaming from the Blackmagic Pocket 4K, really do enjoy streaming from these cameras. It adds a nice different look, especially in these challenging times. It's nice to be able to stream from these cameras and, you know, separate yourself from everyone else and have a nice image. So again, that's going to be it for today's video. I'm going to wrap it here, and thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys if I can find the stuff down here. There we go. I'll see you guys in the next video. Adios, everybody.